Good evening, friends. Welcome to Konexio Technical Insights. I am Rahul Randeria and I will be conducting today's show. Today, we will be discussing regarding the trends, the setups, the technical indicators, the candlestick patterns on Nifty and Bank Nifty, as well as different asset classes. Now, let us discuss what we have mentioned in our last video. In the last video, we have seen that Nifty has made a upward rising wedge and it has seen a breakout. We were expecting that Nifty might remain sideways to down because of the monthly expiry. So initially Nifty started on a weaker note, then and slowly and gradually it started uh, inching upside. Now looking at the weekly candle, the Nifty has ended on a positive note and the RSI has entered slowly into slightly an overbought territory. So you will see now what we have been seeing or what we have observed for the next week. You will see on the daily charts on the Nifty. Nifty has been moving an upward rising wedge that was in the last week, but it failed to do so. I mean to say the follow-up selling didn't happen after that particular falling wedge breakout. Now it has been moving into an upward rising channel. Now, what important thing which we have observed is that you can see the RSI. RSI has entered into slightly overbought territory. Nifty has ended on a positive to flat note. The overall setup from these levels seems to be slightly exhaustive. Because the prices are moving higher, but it is taking more time. I mean to say the rally are time consuming. So maybe further uh, we might see a follow-up buying, and then again Nifty might see some sort of consolidation or a profit booking at the higher levels. So now looking at the daily candle, we expect that next week Nifty might again be highly volatile because until and unless uh, Nifty doesn't give a breakout about 16,730, 16,740, and it sustains above those levels, we might see a sideways to consolidation or maybe some sort of profit booking at the higher levels. So the next week again would be highly volatile. Most important thing for the next week is that from 1st of September, the peak margin on the markets, I mean, from the in the exchange would be 100%. So how market will behave because of this particular peak margin increase from 75% to 100%. So again, that would be also a factor which would impact the market, the volumes. So definitely next week would be highly challenging, very interesting, highly volatile. So the view remains same. Nifty might remain highly volatile for the next week. Maybe we might see a zigzag movement. Support might come at the lower levels as well as if there is a bounce, maybe for 0.5%, 1%, we might see again selling pressure coming in. So next week might be very challenging for the traders. So now let us see the important support and resistance level for the next week in the Nifty. The important support in the next week are placed at 16,565. Next support is at 16,445. And third support is at 16,376. Whereas on the upside, the resistance are placed at 16,865. Then second support resistance is at 17,033. And third resistance is at 17,203. Now let us discuss Bank Nifty. In Bank Nifty also, from last couple of months, you will see on the screen that on the Bank Nifty, it has been moving into a very broad range since mid-May 2021 till the current day. It has been moving in a very broad range of 34,400 on the downside and 36,500 on the upside. Still, Bank Nifty has failed to give a breakout about this or on the either side of this congestion range. Now, looking at the daily pattern on the daily charts, it has been currently placed at the midway of this particular sideways consolidation. So once Bank Nifty breaks above 36,000, then we might see the extension of rally towards 37,000 and 37,500 in the next coming weeks. So definitely, as I said, looking at Bank Nifty also, we might see sideways to volatile trading session for the next week. So traders need to trade with strict stop losses uh, from the current levels. So now let us discuss the important supports and resistance in Bank Nifty. In Bank Nifty, the important supports are placed at 35,359. Below that, the next support is at 35,070, and below that, third support is at 34,649. Whereas on the upside, the resistance is placed at 35,910. Above that, the next resistance is at 36,246, and above that, the third resistance is at 36,536. So these are the important supports and resistance levels in Nifty and Bank Nifty. So traders needs to be watching out these important levels and trade accordingly, because we feel that next week would be highly volatile. Market might remain sideways with highly volatile trading sessions for the next week. So now let us come to the third segment of the show, which is option analysis. In option analysis, we would discuss, the rise in the open interest in that particular strike prices of Nifty, Bank Nifty, in calls and puts. So now let us discuss uh, the option analysis in Nifty. In Nifty, we have seen, you will see on the screen, in Nifty calls, we have seen that there was a rise in the open interest of the 16,800 out of the money calls, then 16,900 out of the money calls, and 17,000 out of the money calls. Now you can clearly see that there has been a rise in the open interest, whereas the slight rise in the premium, the rise in the premium, the percentage change in the premium. So again, looking at this particular indicators or data, we feel that traders are slightly skeptical or slightly indecisive regarding the rally from the current levels. So we feel that maybe 16,800 or 16,900 would act as a major resistance for Nifty for the next week. So traders should watch out for this particular strike price and trade accordingly. Now in Nifty puts, in Nifty what puts we have observed that we have seen the rise in the open interest was concentrated towards 16,600 out of the money puts, then 16,500 out of the money puts, and 16,400 out of the money puts. You can clearly see a drop in the premium, rise in the open interest. Again, you see that again the IVs are also the high. I mean, compared to the puts calls in Nifty calls. So we might see some sort of support coming in Nifty at the lower levels. So I feel that 16,500 could act as a important support, because there has been strong writing seen in this particular out of the money puts. So definitely, as I said, we might see highly volatile trading sessions for Nifty for the next week. Now let us discuss the option analysis in Bank Nifty. In Bank Nifty calls, you can clearly see there has been a rise in the open interest, but a significant drop in the premiums. The rise in the open interest in Bank Nifty calls were seen at 35,800 calls. I mean, this is 35,800 out of the money calls, then 36,000 out of the money calls, and 36,500 out of the money calls. You can clearly see rise in the open interest and significant drop in the options premium, which clearly indicates that again Bank Nifty is indicating an hesitation to rally, decisive rally from this level. So again, for the next week, 36,000 could act as a major resistance for the next week. So definitely, any pullback from this level might invite selling pressure at the higher levels in Bank Nifty also. Now, in Bank Nifty puts, what we have seen or what we have observed, that in Bank Nifty puts, the rise in the open interest was seen in 35,500 out of the money puts, then 35,000 out of the money puts, and 34,500 out of the money puts. Now here also you can clearly see that there was a rise in the open interest, then a drop in options premium. IVs are high, so again it is showing that on the downside, 35,000 would act as a strong support. So looking at the overall picture or overall option analysis, Nifty, Bank Nifty, calls and puts, it is indicating that next week we might see an indecisive trend where Nifty and Bank Nifty both might move highly volatile. I mean to say it might move zigzag this way, not neither upward, neither downward. So traders are advised to trade with fixed stop losses or stay with nimble footing. And as I said, from 1st September, exchanges are going to levy 100% peak margin. So this might impact on the daily volumes. I mean to say, we might see drop in the exchanges volume. Definitely, this might again give a negative impact on the markets. So that is the reason why we have a view that Nifty and Bank Nifty might revert sideways to positive or sideways to negative, or we might see a indecisive move. So there is no clear trend seen for the next week, but definitely it would be highly volatile. So traders are suggested to trade with fixed stop losses. If they want to trade long, then trade with fixed stop losses. If they want to trade short, if they should trade with fixed stop losses. So now let us come to the final segment of the show, which is positional call. In positional call, I have identified one stock from mining industry. The stock is GMDC. You will see on the screen that chart has been moving in an upward rising channel from last year, May to 2020 till the date. It has been moving into a upward rising channel, making higher tops, higher bottoms. On Friday, what we have seen, there was a sharp price rise, again a sharp volume rise. So rise in the price and rise in volume indicates that the stock is poised to see a decent rally from the current levels. So swing traders, short-term investors, long-term investors can accumulate the stock from current levels even and on dips till 65. The current market price of the stock is around 70 rupees. So from 70 rupees to 65, one can accumulate the stock for a minimum target of 90 rupees, which is the resistance of this upward rising channel. And if it closes above 90, then the stock has potential to test the levels of 100 and 105 in next 8 to 12 months. So definitely the setup is looking positive. RSI is also into comfortable zone. The price volume action, the charts are indicating that stock is well poised for an upside rally from the current levels. Hence, investors can accumulate the stock in the range of 70 to 65 for a minimum target of 90 in next couple of months. So let us conclude the show. Thank you very much for watching this show. Any suggestion you can give in the comment box, and have a nice trading week. Thank you.